Hey there, friends. Today, we're digging deep into a topic that might sound heavy, but stick with me. It's packed with hope and practical steps you can take today. Did you know that nearly all deaths occurring before age 70 can be traced back to just a few specific causes? While many believe dying too early is simply part of life's natural cycle, the reality is that most of these deaths result from preventable factors. The average man who dies before 70 loses at least 20 years or more of life he could have had. By the time most men begin to notice something is wrong, their health has often declined significantly, leaving them with fewer options. But by becoming aware of these risks early, you can take meaningful action and potentially add years, maybe even decades, to your life. In this video, we're revealing the 11 primary causes of death for men under 70. These aren't just numbers or dry statistics. They reflect real people, families, and decisions that can make the difference between a life burdened by illness or one filled with strength and vitality. Let's break them down, and I'll explain why these solutions work, so you're not just following advice, but understanding it. Heart disease remains the #1 killer of men, and yet many are unaware of how much influence they have over it. The heart is a muscle, and like all muscles, it thrives when cared for and deteriorates with neglect. A major study published in JAMA in 2023 found that men who followed the Mediterranean diet, rich in olive oil, nuts, and fatty fish, reduced their risk of dying from heart problems by 42%. Why does it work, you ask? These healthy fats improve endothelial function, the inner lining of your blood vessels, preventing plaque formation, buildup of fatty deposits in arteries, and blood clots. Just 30 minutes of daily walking lowers LDL, the bad cholesterol that clogs arteries, and boosts HDL, the good cholesterol that helps clear arteries, by up to 10%. It also reduces inflammation, swelling, and irritation in tissues, in blood vessels, which is the root cause of most heart attacks. The danger lies in the fact that symptoms often remain silent until it's too late. Many men chalk up fatigue, shortness of breath, or slowing down as just part of getting older. But these can actually be warning signs that your heart is weakening. And one of the most damaging beliefs is that heart disease is just a matter of fate. People assume it's genetic or simply tied to aging. But the truth is, everyday habits, what you eat, how you move, and how you handle stress, play a major role in your heart's future. So the decisions you make now could determine whether your heart remains strong in the years ahead. 2. Lung cancer. Lung cancer might seem like a death sentence, but it's actually highly preventable. The shocking fact: your lungs begin healing within 72 hours of your last cigarette. A major national study showed that simple low-dose CT screening, specialized X-ray imaging, can reduce deaths by 20%. Why does quitting smoking work so effectively? Even after decades of tobacco use, your cancer risk drops by half after 10 years smoke-free, because your body stops being exposed to over 7,000 chemicals in cigarette smoke, allowing your lung cells to repair damaged DNA. Early detection through CT screening can catch lung cancer when survival rates exceed 90%, compared to less than 15% when found late. For those at high risk, current smokers, or those who quit within 15 years, annual low-dose CT scans can detect tumors when they're the size of a grain of rice, long before symptoms appear. Even if you've never smoked, environmental factors like radon gas, the second leading cause of lung cancer, can be silently damaging your lungs. A simple home test can identify this invisible threat that affects millions of homes. Cruciferous vegetables, like broccoli and kale, contain sulforaphane, a powerful plant compound that triggers cancer cell death and activates detox enzymes in cells. Adding just one serving daily can significantly reduce your risk. Colorectal cancer, also known as bowel cancer, is cancer that develops in the colon, large intestine, or rectum. It is the second leading cancer killer of men, yet it's almost entirely preventable with the right approach. What makes this cancer so insidious is its silent progression. By the time symptoms appear, it's often advanced. A landmark study in the New England Journal of Medicine following 88,902 participants over 22 years found that colonoscopies reduced colorectal cancer mortality by an astonishing 68%. Why? Because these screenings can identify and remove precancerous polyps, small growths that can turn into cancer if not removed, before they transform into cancer, essentially preventing the disease entirely. The science is compelling. Each 10 grams of daily fiber you consume slashes your risk by 10% by accelerating transit time through your colon. This reduces exposure to carcinogens, cancer-causing substances, and prevents inflammation that triggers cancer development. Meanwhile, each daily serving of processed meat increases risk by 18% due to nitrates, preservatives in processed meats that directly damage DNA in colon cells. The Harvard Physicians' Health study tracking 47,950 men found that those taking low-dose aspirin, 81 milligrams, for at least 6 years had a 30% lower risk of colorectal cancer. The mechanism? Aspirin blocks COX-2 enzymes, the proteins that promote inflammation, that fuel tumor growth and inflammation. Your gut microbiome, the community of beneficial bacteria in your digestive system, plays a crucial role too. Men who consume fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, and sauerkraut show a 17% lower risk because beneficial bacteria produce butyrate, a compound that triggers apoptosis, the natural self-destruction process in cells, in cancer cells, while preserving healthy ones. The most powerful action you can take? Schedule that colonoscopy at age 45. For men with family history, screening should start 10 years before the youngest case in your family. A single day of discomfort every 10 years can literally save your life. In between screenings, a simple at-home FIT t-test, fecal immunochemical test, which checks for hidden blood in stool, can detect microscopic blood, an early warning sign, with 79% accuracy. Don't become one of the 53,000 men who die annually from a cancer that's up to 90% preventable with screening and lifestyle changes. The power to prevent this disease lies almost entirely in your hands. 4. Type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes silently damages your body for years before symptoms appear. But groundbreaking research has revealed it's not just preventable, it's reversible in its early stages. A direct trial published in The Lancet demonstrated that 46% of participants achieved complete remission from type 2 diabetes through targeted lifestyle intervention. Not just management, complete remission with normal blood sugar without medication. Here's what makes diabetes particularly dangerous for men. We store more visceral fat. This is hidden fat that wraps around internal organs around our organs, releasing inflammatory compounds that directly impair insulin function. A Yale University study found that even men with normal BMIs can have enough hidden visceral fat to trigger insulin resistance. This is when your body doesn't respond well to the hormone that controls blood sugar. The science behind prevention is compelling. The Diabetes Prevention Program, a landmark study of 3,234 participants, proved that specific lifestyle changes reduce diabetes risk by 58%, outperforming medication by more than double. These weren't extreme changes, just 150 minutes of weekly moderate activity and 5 to 7% weight loss. What's revolutionary is understanding the mechanisms. When you perform resistance training twice weekly, you build glucose transporters, GLUT4, in muscle cells that can pull sugar from your bloodstream without requiring insulin. This creates a glucose disposal highway that bypasses insulin resistance entirely, reducing blood sugar spikes by up to 30% after meals. Time-restricted eating, limiting food intake to an 8-10 hour window daily, has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity, how well your body responds to insulin, by 37% in just 12 weeks by activating cellular repair processes during the fasting period. The University of Alabama study found this approach effective even without changing what participants ate. Here's a powerful hack, backed by multiple studies. 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar before meals reduces post-meal blood sugar by 20%. The acetic acid temporarily blocks carbohydrate digesting enzymes and slows gastric emptying, preventing blood sugar spikes. For early detection, the hemoglobin A1C test, which measures your average blood sugar over 3 months, can identify prediabetes years before symptoms develop. This simple blood test should be part of every man's annual checkup after 35. The evidence is clear. Diabetes is not an inevitable consequence of aging or genetics. With specific science-backed strategies, you can prevent, manage, or even reverse this condition that threatens not just your lifespan, but your quality of life. 5. Stroke. A stroke strikes suddenly. No warning, no time to prepare. In seconds, it can change your entire life. It's one of the most common causes of death for men under 70, yet many don't realize how many stroke-related risk factors are within their control. High blood pressure weakens blood vessels in the brain, causing clots or ruptures. Potassium-rich foods like bananas and spinach counteract sodium, lowering blood pressure by 5 to 10 millimeters of mercury, the units used to measure blood pressure. Potassium works by relaxing blood vessel walls, allowing blood to flow more easily. Did you know that untreated sleep apnea increases stroke risk 3x by starving the brain of oxygen? Many men snore but never get tested for this serious condition. A simple overnight sleep study can identify if you're at risk, and treatment can dramatically reduce your chances of stroke. One crucial but often ignored warning sign is what's known as a mini-stroke, or TIA, transient ischemic attack, a temporary blockage of blood flow to the brain. These events may cause sudden confusion, blurred vision, or difficulty speaking, and even if the symptoms go away quickly, they should never be brushed off. The FAST method, also defined as face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulties, time to call emergency services, is a mnemonic device used to quickly recognize the signs of a stroke. By identifying these symptoms quickly, people can act fast and seek immediate medical help, potentially saving lives. Friends, every minute during a stroke, 1.9 million brain cells die, which is why immediate treatment can mean the difference between recovery and permanent disability. Remember, friends, the Framingham Heart Study, tracking multiple generations for over 70 years, found that these 11 conditions account for 78% of early male deaths, with factors we can control contributing to 61% of the risk. A 2024 global analysis published in The Lancet showed that addressing these specific preventable causes could extend your life by 11.4 years. Aging isn't about avoiding risks, it's about thriving wisely. Pick one tip to start today, maybe hydrating more or adding a daily walk. These small, consistent habits can lead to years of increased strength, clarity, and independence. Think about your current lifestyle. Are there small changes you can make? Share in the comments below. Please remember, you don't have to overhaul your entire life all at once. Just one small step in the right direction is all it takes to begin the journey toward better health. Thank you so much for getting this far. If you have not done so, please subscribe for more life-changing health information. Remember, tag someone who needs to hear this information. Till next time, remain authentically you.